Good morning, Devils fans. We're going to be taking a look yet again at another member of our coaching staff. This time, it's a guy in charge of developing our players, as today's spotlight is on Chris Taylor. Born March 6, 1972 in Stratford, Ontario, he started out with a very impressive junior career in the OHL with the London Knights, and after 4 seasons there from 1988 to 92, he held their team points record with 378, which would hold until Corey Perry surpassed it, scoring 380. At the 1990 NHL entry draft, he would be taken in the second round, 27th overall, by the New York Islanders. After finishing up with the Knights, he would go on to have a less than successful in comparison to his OHL career as a pro, where he split the next 2 seasons between the AHL and IHL, and would finally get his NHL start in the 94-95 season, getting his first NHL point 3 games in with a 2-assist game. He wouldn't get many games at the NHL level and would continue to bounce between it, the AHL, and IHL for years. For the 98-99 season, Taylor would play a single year with the Boston Bruins, and he'd finally get his first NHL goal 8 years after being drafted, but technically only 30 games into his NHL career and 8 games into that season. Again, bouncing between leagues, Taylor would find himself with the Buffalo Sabres for a few seasons and would continue to bounce between the NHL and AHL affiliate there for years. In 2006, Taylor would move overseas to play in Germany's Deutsche Eishockey Liga for 3 seasons before returning to North America to play in the AHL for an additional 2 seasons. Wanted to quickly recap what that back and forth time was like for him. So again, crazy good 4 years in the OHL. Putting up almost 2 points per game in the last 3 years there. Then a season in the AHL, season in the IHL. First season with the Islanders, he only played 10 games, getting 3 assists. 2 more years in the IHL, then got 11 more games with the Islanders in 95-96, where he only put up 1 assist. He then would play the following season with the Islanders, a single NHL game, no points. Splitting time again, IHL and AHL. The 1 season with Boston Bruins, he'd get 37 games, 3 goals, 5 assists. Then the following season, Buffalo Sabres, 11 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. Following season, Buffalo Sabres, 14 games, 0 goals, 2 assists. Then 11 games, 1 goal, 3 assists. And then his last year in the NHL would be the one he would play the most games. 2003-2004, 54 games, 6 goals, 6 assists. In total in his career, 149 NHL games, 11 goals, 21 assists, 32 points. And he did manage to make it into 2 playoff games, no points. That was back in 1999-2000 with the Buffalo Sabres. However, after finishing up his playing career, he would jump right into coaching, both of which ended and began with the Sabres affiliate, the Rochester Americans. Taylor would be brought in as a development coach for the 2011-12 season, and by the end would be promoted to an assistant coach. After a few seasons there, he coached the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins for the 2016-17 season as an assistant coach, before returning to Rochester as a head coach. As head coach, he would lead Rochester for 3 seasons, making playoffs his first 2 years, losing in round 1 both times, and overall would end with a 116-65-33 record. Quite respectable. I believe it was the 4th best win percentage during those 3 years. Before his 3rd season with Rochester, Taylor would be called up as an interim assistant coach with the Buffalo Sabres when a member of their staff took a medical leave of absence, and Taylor would coach there for 2 months in the big league. After the end of that 3rd season back down in Rochester, Taylor would be relieved of his duties along with the team's GM and assistant coaches, but Taylor would land himself another coaching gig, this time in the NHL as an assistant coach for the New Jersey Devils, when he was hired on October 23rd, 2020. Although this is Taylor's first stint with the Devils organization, it's not his first time with head coach Lindy Ruff, as Taylor played under Lindy in Buffalo. Taylor has now remained with the Devils for 3 seasons and will be heading into his 4th with the team. On the ice, outside of the community style of our coaching staff, Taylor is not in charge of a particular aspect of running the on-ice part of the team. Instead, he's there to focus on player development and takes a bigger role in practices, especially backroom film watching, and being an ear/mouthpiece for the players. As one of the now longer tenured members of the coaching staff, and going off of quotes by GM Tommy Fitz, he is very highly respected for his work ethic and what he brings to the review room for the players. Taylor is also credited by management for having a pivotal role in helping develop Dawson Mercer, and those on-ice impacts from Dawson speak for themselves. Off the ice, Chris is married to his lovely wife Lisa. They have 2 children, their son Nick and daughter Samantha. Nick was born with 2 cysts on his brain and was given a diagnosis of likely never being able to walk, talk, or live a very long life. Having 20 surgeries by the age of 6, Nick would become an exception to that rule, as he would not only survive that early diagnosis but thrive, being able to attend development school and more, as he is now in his late 20s. Going forward, it seems the org loves Chris, and I would assume as long as Lindy is here, so will Chris Taylor, unless given an opportunity to have a bigger role with another team, which seems like he might be working his way towards. If we want to gauge his success by how young players have developed here under him, we should never let this guy go, as we have one of the best young cores, if not the best, in the entire league. Obviously, that has a lot to do with drafting and bringing the right guys in, but you got to give some credit to the coaching staff in helping along the way there as well. He's not one of the big 3 of the coaching staff, but he is still as important anyway. Top 3 for Chris Taylor as a Devil. Well, I'd start off with number 3. He's paid his dues, never quitting, has a passion and drive. I mean, the guy really ran the gambit of his playing career and the coaching career as well, finally landing himself a more long-term fixture here in Jersey. So absolutely shout out to him. Speaking of which, then, coming in at number 2, he chose to come here. Probably some familiarity with Lindy helped in that decision. Again, we don't know how many other coaching offers he had out there or if he's had any since and chose to turn them down. But, he has remained here for years now, and he has definitely been a pivotal part of growing this team. So we are very proud and glad to have him. Number 1, speaking of all that, it is developing the young guys. I mean, that is his role here. It sounds like he does a lot of work in cutting tape for the guys and providing that footage. And I think that has paid dividends and more for our young guys coming in and for the more guys that are going to continue coming up through our system, as we still have quite the flush prospect cupboard, as I have discussed in previous videos. But yeah, that's going to do it. It is a Saturday. It seems to be a lovely day here in Jersey. I hope everybody enjoys the long weekend, hopefully for all of you with the holiday on Monday. That is going to do it for today. I will see everyone tomorrow morning as always. And forever, let's go Devils.